Hey everybody, Coach Jason here. Hope you're doing well. So, question I have for you: when should you start doing plyometrics, drills, lifting if you're a runner, middle distance runner, and so on and so forth? Because this is a legitimate question, and folks asking, and how often should you be doing it? Well, just like running, whether you're increasing volume of your weekly training volume or the volume of the workouts that you're doing or the intensity of your training, the body needs time to adapt to an increased training load, no matter what the training load is. And even if you're decreasing it, the body needs time to adapt. That's what's called periodization. That's why I say giving the body 3 to 4 weeks to adapt to any significant change in training should take place. That way, again, physiologically, you're ready for it. Your athletes are ready for it. They can handle it. And the same thing applies to running and lifting when you're running too. So whether it be lifting, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, and generally, my philosophy is, and again, it's up to you as a coach to decide what's best for your athletes. As an athlete, it's up to you to decide what's best for yourself. So you take it with a grain of salt. You modify it as you need to, but the earlier the season, the better. Number one, and secondly, if you have an off season for a lot of high school runners and college runners, it's the summertime that you're using to build a foundation to prepare for cross country and so on and so forth, right? And some folks who don't have a winter track, we use that as a foundation to build towards spring track. So those are good opportunities when you're not racing to start incorporating lifting if you haven't done that yet, or plyometrics if you haven't done that yet. Again, there might be some soreness that your body's going to need to get used to, and it's important to decide, the difference, or know the difference between soreness and injury. And just why I encourage folks to do summer off season, you start doing your lifting then. And if you do 3 times a week, that's a good lifting protocol. A functional type of training as well, something that's specific that's going to help you with your running. Okay. And then the same thing with plyometrics. You're going to be doing things that your hips and your glutes and your core and your lower back and things like that are not used to. This is taking your body in areas where they don't normally go when they're not running. So this is also important to do in your off season when you're not racing, so that you have enough of this built into your training, so that at that point, when you start incorporating harder workouts, because at some point the emphasis is going to become more predominantly focused towards racing and racing strategy, and you want to build the workouts accordingly, right? And you can see, if you see my training programs, I have a lot of emphasis on like hills and tempos and threshold early, and then tempos and threshold combined with race pace in the mid-season as the races start to get more intense, more strategic, and you want to start to incorporate a little bit more difficult training or hard type stuff and fast running, and then more race pace stuff and faster than that towards the end of the season. That way it's cyclical. Your body has a chance to adapt to each cycle, but they're also not doing too much of one thing while neglecting other things. The same philosophy applies to lifting and drills. Okay, and I want to make sure that I point this out. And again, we can discuss it. If you could see it as well, a lot of my workouts in this channel, the training programs, you'll see drills and strides in the training programs. I got fully detailed training programs for middle distance running, marathon, everything, cross country you can think of is on this channel. So if you're a coach or an athlete and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, please. Come join the movement, because we're going to keep doing this. And like I said, and if you enjoy the content, hit the like button too. I thank you so much for it. Blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com is my email. You have direct access to me. Okay. I want you to know that you don't need to be a world-class athlete or a world-class coach to have access to good content. I want you to know this is applicable to you too. You have access to this. And if you have questions about it, you can ask me. That's why I give my email. Okay. That's why I say load up the comments too. If you have questions in the comments, feel free. Ask. I'm happy to answer them. But when I go live, so if you do subscribe, hit the notification button too. That way you'll know exactly when I go live. And if you want to come, you want to hop on, you want to ask questions, or multiple questions, you have the ability to do that. And I'm happy to help and I'm happy to answer in any way that I can. But this is an important piece of the puzzle. Okay. And if you do subscribe, thank you and welcome to the channel. Lifting, drills, this type of stuff. It's kind of the icing on the cake that you've been building with the running, right? And how do you put that in and plug that into place? Putting these pieces of the puzzle together in a timely fashion. and when do you do it, because timing does matter. And like I said, your body does need time to adapt. And if you want to emphasize, things at the end of the season, it might be a better idea to incorporate this type of stuff towards the beginning of the season or in the off season to make it easier to transition to stuff that you want to emphasize that's more intense later on. You got enough strength foundation built into your muscles and into your body to make it more possible for you to not only do these types of things, but also protect your bones and your joints from injury. Okay. And plyometrics as well can help with your running economy, can help with your turnover, can help with a lot of things. Ancillary muscles, build your secondary muscles that don't normally get running fast. So, but let me know what your thoughts are. Okay. When should you start running, doing plyometrics, lifting, and so on and so forth? To me, again, just to answer it simply, if you have a summer season and off season, that's when I would start to incorporate it. And then I would go from 3 days in the off season to 2 days of lifting and strength training during the season as a maintenance training. Okay. And obviously, just like running, you'd have some downtime as well, and so on and so forth. And you can cycle the lifting in appropriately if you need to, but you don't need to lift super heavy right now at this point, especially if you're a distance runner or a long distance runner. There are certain times for that, and there's certain times to not do that. And again, any lifting that's going to compromise your running mechanics is probably not the lifting you want to do. And it doesn't mean you can't be stronger, but be stronger in a way that's going to improve your running. And that's an absolutely critical piece of this training, piece of the puzzle. Okay. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you're a coach, give me your feedback, please. If you're an athlete, give me your feedback, please. So I want to know. And again, if you're not doing plyometrics and you're not lifting at all, or if you're doing any type of calisthenic training and whatnot, let me know. And if you need help in that regard, I'm happy to help. Absolutely. If it's something that you'd like to do. So have a great rest of the season, gang. Great week, and I'll talk to you next time.